Hello everyone, my name is Raven Dixon, and first and foremost, Happy New Year. Welcome back to YWCA York's Talk segment, Let's Talk. This project aims to create a series of monthly videos featuring members and leaders of YWCA York discussing relevant and important topics to help engage our community and raise awareness. Trigger warning, today's episode is going to be discussing Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. While I am looking forward to today's episode, I encourage you all to join us and partake in these important conversations. With that being said, let's talk. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk. Today I am here with
Tiara Daniels-Holmes, Prevention and Outreach Advocate 1.
Vanessa Kohler, Prevention and Outreach Advocate 2.
So with today's topic being Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, my very first question that I wanted to dive into is, what is teen dating violence?
So teen dating violence is a pattern of violent behaviors. This could be physical, this could be emotional, it can be digital in this day and age, it can be financial.
What signs should teens look out for that may indicate they're in an unhealthy relationship?
So signs like control, it's the control of it all, who you talk to, where you go, who you're texting, who's liking your social media posts, especially in teens. We see a lot of that with the social media aspects of things. That one is a big red flag, as you would like to say.
So it's like they're monitoring their stuff?
Yes, monitoring, taking your phone all the time, wanting to know your passwords, facial recognition, now that that's a thing. Yeah.
There's also threatening, coercion, like, if you love me, you would send me pictures, even though you said you don't want to. Belittling, calling you out of your name, actual physical abuse. Oh, and isolation from family, friends, sports teams, groups.
And that isolation happens over time. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, you can't go hang out with them. Like, it's a gradual thing.
Like it builds up to it.
It builds up to it, but that's where the coercion and the manipulation comes into play, because most times out of 10, it's over time where they're like, oh, well, I want you to hang out with me this weekend, even though you hung out the weekend before that. And then they'll be like, well, if you care about me, you'll hang out with me. It's taking your time that you could spend with other people away and making it all about them, so that way they know where you are, who you're talking to.
Like a lot of manipulation tactics.
Yes.
Okay. What resources does YWCA York provide specifically for teen victims of dating violence?
So for teen victims, we offer counseling. So if you are younger than 14, you will need parent permission for that. If you're 14 or older, you can just come get counseling. If you were in a violent situation and you went to the hospital, we have medical advocates that go to the hospital where somebody's on call 24/7. We have the education. We go into the schools to teach about healthy relationships, define them, teach you how to establish boundaries. And then we have advocacy hours that Vanessa does at York College.
Okay. Yeah. Are there any specific programs or events planned for Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month for this year?
So we have our t-shirt contest coming up. That's a big one. It's for students grades 9 through 12. We are offering 3 cash prizes.
Oh, okay.
First winner gets $300, second winner gets $200, and third winner gets $100.
Okay.
And then the first winner also gets their artwork displayed on the t-shirt overall, and then we also distribute and sell those t-shirts out to the public.
Okay, that's exciting. So it's getting them involved in it and they get something from it.
Yes, the submission date for that is also February 7th.
February 7th. Okay.
We're also doing Wear Orange Day. So February 11th, we're asking everybody to wear orange. Post it on social media with the hashtag Respect That, and then YWCA York.
Okay. So we're having some more engagement with our community part. Okay. How does YWCA York raise awareness about Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month within the community?
So within the community, we attend as many events as we can. We go to like the first Fridays, any community-wide event, we're there. We're talking about the services that we offer. We have our flyers posted. We travel from school to school telling them about like the contest, about Wear Orange Day. We've gone to the libraries. We've been all around doing outreach, letting people know.
Food pantries. Our one coworker does churches and their youth groups. So we're all over the board.
How can friends and family support a teen who may be experiencing dating violence?
So it's important not to judge. Listening, ears open, and just really being a sounding board for that person and not giving your opinion unless asked for it. You are not there to judge them. You never want to tell them you're not making the right decision. It's kind of like being educated with the warning signs for yourself. Then once your friend is like telling you about it, if they ask you, like, does this sound like abuse or like questions like that, then you'll be prepared to answer those questions.
Okay.
But it's just really important to just listen and not judge, and also validate their feelings.
Right.
Let them know that it's okay to feel how they're feeling, and then go from there. Listen to what they need, not to what you want to respond to.
Mm-hmm. It's about them.
Yes. You never want to make it about yourself.
And whatever is happening to them, they're not the cause.
Yeah. Because, the stigma is, why do people in relationships like that stay?
What did they say? Yeah.
Why do they choose to do that to themselves? They don't choose it. It's not a choice. It can happen to anyone and everyone at any given point. So
Thank you for that. How does social media impact teen dating violence, and what are some strategies you recommend for addressing it?
I think social media can play a big role in teen dating violence. It can encourage cyberbullying, stalking, but also it allows for so many misconceptions because there's like a cultural norm that's portrayed in the media.
So social media plays a big role in dating violence, enabling behaviors like pressure to engage in unhealthy and unsafe actions. Like, with Facebook, when you go into your messenger, you can see when somebody's active.
Mm-hmm.
Abusers will take that as a way of stalking their partner.
Mm-hmm.
And when they see that their partner is a green dot or it says active 5 minutes ago, they take it as they're ignoring them. And then it starts an argument. There's unhealthy key points of a relationship. And normally abusers will be like, you made me feel unimportant because I seen you were on social media, but you weren't texting me back. So then there's that guilt that they apply onto their partner. And then that makes it easy to blur the lines for the partner to not recognize that these are unhealthy traits. Right. It makes that partner feel the guilt of, I'm not doing something right as a girlfriend or a boyfriend. So it really blurs the line to be able to see that you're in an unhealthy relationship and to know where your healthy boundaries should be with that person. It kind of goes into sexting and non-consensual image sharing as well. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we see, that like what we mentioned earlier about coercion. If you love me, you'll send me pictures. Right. And then they'll use those pictures against that partner when that partner, let's say, starts to question whether or not this is right for them.
Or give them back talk.
They'll be like, well, I have your photos. And then it turns into a blackmail type situation. And then most times out of 10, those partners feel trapped.
And they're isolated.
Because they feel like they can't turn to anyone. Because most teens that, participate in sexting, they don't want to tell people that that's what they're doing. Right. So abusers tend to use that, to manipulate it, and control the situation. We offer a program like Project Selfie to our teens. It's part of our Healthy Relationships Project. We do this program inside of schools, and we also offer it here at YWCA for teens to take and parents to take. That's when we go over the signs of unhealthy relationships with the parents, how to see it with the teens, the sexting, all the internet stuff. We go through that.
So they kind of have a blueprint.
Yep.
Okay, that's a really good way to get the parents involved in that too.
And it's understanding consent as well.
Yeah.
It's understanding your boundaries. You can say no to this and say yes to that, even if you're with that person. It's okay to have boundaries.
What measures can schools take to foster a safe student environment regarding dating relationships?
So schools can implement education about setting boundaries and healthy relationships in their curriculum. YWCA York, we offer the Healthy Relationship Project, which is a curriculum that we have that goes from preschool age 3 all the way up to college, where we teach about defining healthy relationships, how to set boundaries, how to respect other people's boundaries. Vanessa was talking about safety online. Yeah, we have all those things. Also having counselors that are trauma informed, so that when a student comes to you and they disclose something, you know that you're not supposed to be victim blaming or like in any kind of way, well, what could you have done to prevent this? You know, just being there, being a listening ear, and being able to help.
And it's also not only offered to counselors. We encourage all staff to take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your healthcare, your nurses, they all should be well-informed or trauma-informed care because it's important. I mean, you're not always going to have a counselor inside the classroom.
Right. So knowing the signs and stuff. Do you guys feel as though it's being normalized or it's always been there and it's just being brought more to light? Teen dating violence.
I feel like it's always been there. But I think as culture shifts, we are learning more because there are some things that happen that now people didn't know before was abuse, like getting upset with someone and giving them the silent treatment. That's emotional abuse, but people didn't know that before. It was normalized. Or maybe like TV shows, like Law and Order SVU, it makes it seem like things have to be extremely dramatic for you to be qualified as a victim. No. Somebody going through your phone is abuse, but we're just learning this. So I think that as we grow and we shift culturally, then we are learning more.
I think Tiara nailed it. It's the culture, it's the shift, it's the years that have gone by. I think, way back before we got into rights as women and, going into all of that, it was looked upon, like she said, Law and Order TV shows. Oh, if they're not hitting you, it's not abuse. It is abuse. It starts somewhere. It didn't just start with hits. They started somewhere before they got physical. And I also think it's throughout the years, it's a hard topic to discuss.
Yeah.
I don't think people want to discuss it. They want to act like it's not there. Because it's easier than how do I start this conversation with my child? And then for the families that unfortunately the children do witness the abuse, they try to hide it. They believe that they're hiding it, but their kids are picking up on it. And then that's teaching their kids those characteristics as well. So it's a very hard thing to navigate through, I think, still to this day.
And kids are dating as early as like 8 or 9. Like it's
yeah.
hard to have that conversation. Like, how do I talk to my small child about dating violence? Like, what do I say?
Where do you start the conversation?
I think it's always been there, but now it's becoming something more normal to talk about.
So I know previously you guys had mentioned community outreach. With that, are there any training or educational workshops available for schools or community groups regarding dating violence specifically?
Yes. We have a healthy relationships project, which we touched base on before. It goes from pre-K to college. Tiara is our prevention and outreach advocate 1. So she deals with pre-K through 6th, and then I deal with 7th through college. We separate it because it's a lot to cover. With healthy relationships, we focus on respecting each other's boundaries, establishing what a healthy relationship is, the characteristics of what makes a healthy relationship healthy, and what makes it unhealthy. We've learned that it's easier for children to understand if you give them an example.
Right.
If you say, hey, this is all unhealthy, this is all healthy. And before you give them those examples, ask the question, what do they think a healthy relationship is? Because not a lot of times, these are kids that we're talking about, and these aren't discussions that they're having at home or discussions that they're having at the lunch table. So to them, their idea of a healthy relationship may be a little bit not exactly correct.
Right.
So letting them speak on it and then asking them, well, what makes that healthy? Make them think a little bit, because most times when we make them think and we ask those questions, it gets their brain flowing, and then they're like, well, I guess that's really not healthy. And then we go into the lessons. We have to start somewhere.
I absolutely love the perspective of having them initiate it, because then I feel like it's authentic from their replies themselves.
Exactly. Not just throwing information to them. Because what happens when you throw information at a child, they're going to absorb maybe 20% of it. And the other 80% is is going to get lost somewhere.
So as we get ready to close out, what advice do you guys have for teens that are experiencing teen dating violence?
Biggest piece of advice is to talk to somebody. Find a safe person that you can talk to about your situation. That can be a school counselor that you trust, an adult that you trust in your personal life, a friend that you trust, because we also offer teen advocacy certification. But yeah, talking about it is the biggest thing. You need to get it out there that something is going on with you so that you can get the resources that you need so that it can end.
I feel like it's important to also know, like, it's important to talk about what you're going through in your situation with somebody that you trust. Because if you don't talk about it, it's going to eat you up. And it's going to start to affect the different aspects of your life that is important to you, whether that's school, your relationships with your friends, your relationships with your siblings. It's going to affect it if you keep it bottled up. Mm-hmm. Whoever it is, if you trust them, talk to them and make them understand that if it's just that you want to talk and you don't want them to actually do anything, let them know that, because you are the person in control.
Well, thank you both for coming on Let's Talk today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's episode of Let's Talk. We hope you found the discussion valuable and thought-provoking. Don't forget to follow us on our social medias and hit that notification bell so you can stay tuned when we upload new episodes. Your feedback is extremely important to us, so please leave your comments and suggestions down below on what you would like to see next. Let's continue the conversation and keep working towards positive change together. Thank you. Until next time, I'm Raven Dixon. Let's keep talking.